Today on Total Maine, high-stakes meeting. Senator Susan Collins joins us to discuss her closed-door conversation with Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth. And global implications. The Assad regime falls in Syria, with some Maine immigrants watching closely. Analysis from a Colby College professor. And Educate Maine. A new study reveals how Maine teachers think the state can address a workforce shortage. Plus, we go in the arena. Who is throwing the replay flag on the week's biggest political news stories? Hey there, and good Sunday to you. Thank you for joining us here on Total Maine. I'm Terry Stackhouse. We begin today speaking with Senator Susan Collins. With the new Trump administration taking shape, gaining her support is a top priority for some of his nominees. This includes Trump's pick to lead the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth. He's been accused of sexual misconduct, alcohol abuse, and financial mismanagement. Today, we're getting new insight into last week's closed-door meeting between the two. It's a busy time in the Hill. I know that you met with Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth on Wednesday. And ahead of this, you had a range of questions for him, and you told reporters on the Hill that during that hour-long meeting, you pressed Hegseth on the allegations against him and his military positions too. Can you share with us a specific question that you asked Hegseth?
Well, generally, I really tried to keep the questions and answers private because this is a one-on-one issue, but I will give you an example of one. And that is, I asked him about women in combat roles because I had read and quoted to him some negative comments that he had made about women being in combat roles. He definitely recognized the valuable role that our women's service members have played, but he had reservations about putting them in combat roles. He explained that his thinking on that issue had evolved as women have been in combat roles for a number of years now. And so that was one example of something that I did ask him about.
Based on that conversation, did you get the sense that he no longer holds the position that women should not be in combat?
I did get that impression. I think what his concern was that he was concerned that women were being forced into combat roles in order to meet certain quotas for the number of women in combat roles. And that he was concerned about that. Obviously, there are some men that aren't suited for combat roles, and there are some women who aren't suited for combat roles. There's some women who are great in combat roles. My colleague Joni Ernst was a combat veteran and a leader in the military. So it really depends on the skills of the individual person, not on gender. And he now seems to agree with that.
He is a decorated combat veteran, but based solely on his military credentials, does he have enough experience, in your view, to lead the Pentagon?
It's really difficult to make a final decision until, in fact, it's impossible when I don't know the person personally, and I had never met Mr. Hegseth prior to yesterday. So that's why I have been insistent on an FBI background check that in his case can investigate and probe the allegations that have been made against him. And also having the committee investigation, which involves extensive questionnaires, and perhaps equally important to the FBI investigation, the public hearing.
In international news this week, the Assad regime fell. President-elect Trump says, let this play out. This is not our fight for the U.S. to get involved. Do you think that our nation has a role to play?
Well, we have a number of bases in the area, so I'm concerned about the well-being of our troops in such a volatile situation as Syria is experiencing right now. All of us are glad to see Assad, the butcher of Damascus, gone. He has been a horrible leader for Syria. He's murdered countless people, and he has been unbelievably bad. Having said that, the group that has replaced him is an offshoot of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda.
Senator Collins there addressing the major international news last week with global implications. It was breaking 1 week ago today. The stunning end to the 50-year rule of the Assad family in Syria. Watching these events unfold are some native Syrians who now live here in Maine. Today we're discussing what this means for the U.S. with a Colby College professor who is an expert on the region and its history.
The impact on Maine, right now, we're going to be, I think, waiting and watching. And there are a lot of Syrian families in Maine right now, in Waterville in particular, that are probably holding their breath. And they're desperately trying to get in touch with family members back home in Syria to find out what's going on.
John Turner is an associate professor of Islamic and Middle East history at Colby College in Waterville. He links the rapid fall of Assad to Russia's overstretched military commitments in Ukraine, Hezbollah's focus on Israel, and Iran's limited capacity to intervene without Hezbollah.
The cost for the Russian public is getting too high. So Putin was unable to commit resources. Hezbollah is constrained by the war with Israel, and Iran knew that they couldn't commit resources that would tip the scale in favor of Assad at this point, that they needed all three of them.
President-elect Trump does not want U.S. involvement, saying it's not our fight. But Turner argues that it would be a mistake for the administration to take no action.
If we sit on the sidelines, the danger is that we create a space for a Taliban-type group to seize control in the center of the Middle East. So for us, the implications are it's chaotic. We can't really predict, but our long-term strategic interests are to nudge and help towards the pluralistic democracy.
There is much more ahead on Total Maine. A new report outlines the challenges of recruiting the next generation of teachers in Maine. We're going to find out about those findings in a new report with the program director from Educate Maine joining us in studio. But first, we're going in the arena. We talk about who might succeed Governor Mills in the Blaine House in 2026. That's when Total Maine continues. Stay with us. Well, the snow might be gone after all the rain that we saw on Wednesday. This was the calm after last Sunday's snow. Some soothing winter calm images there from New Gloucester's Sabbath Day Lake, courtesy of our Total Maine photojournalist, Kevin Fowler. All right, we are in the arena here on this Sunday, and we're playing one of our favorite games with the three of you. Are you throwing the replay flag? Since I've noticed, Ethan likes to do this sometimes, including on the podcast this week. He's throwing things around.
I know. He can't keep his seat either. So we apologize for his misbehavior.
Microphone pops out of my.
So I want to share a couple things with you guys. We have flags here for each
Excellent.
of you.
I am throwing this on a couple
we'll see who's going to throw the replay flag here and call for a challenge.
Beautiful.
Maine implementing paid family leave, and this is a controversial topic.
Yeah, and of course the way they're doing it, Phil, is with tax that is shared by the workers, shared by the employers. Benefits would not start for another year. Do you want to throw the flag on these rules?
Yeah, I'm throwing the flag on this one. This is another tax on Maine people. As you say, they're going to collect the money for a year before they start paying out benefits. There are people who aren't paying into it who are going to be eligible for it. There are people who are paying into it who aren't going to be eligible for it. This is going to be a chaotic mess for quite some time, I think.
Are you picking up that flag?
I'm picking up that flag. I'm the referee. I'm looking, and we are not overturning the call. Let's be very clear. This was a very good policy. The one thing you're not focusing on is the importance of paid family leave for workers in Maine, right? This is sending a signal to other states that if you come to the state of Maine and you have a kid, we want you to take care of that kid, give them the time they need. If you have a sick parent, we want you to take care of that sick parent, give them the time they need. This will be a legacy-making piece of the Janet Mills administration.
Let's talk about the nomination here, Heather Sanborn. She's a Portland native, served in the Maine's legislature to be public advocate now that Bill Harwood has announced his retirement. What do you guys make of this election here?
Yeah, she's someone who's been known pretty well in Portland especially. What do you think about her appointment as public advocate? You're going to throw the replay flag?
I'm not on this one. I think that she's a good choice. The reason she's a good choice is because this position is somebody who fights for consumers, right? They don't need to be somebody who, knows the utility industry deeply inside and out. She's fighting for small businesses. She's a small business owner. She's fighting for moms out there who are paying too much to try to keep their house warm. So I'm very pleased. I think she's the right choice.
I'm not throwing the flag. It was more of a ceremonial choice for a loyal Democrat colleague. Her business experience, she has a law degree, she's been a school teacher, she's run a small business, but advocating with the PUC or against the PUC on utilities is a whole different skill set that she's going to have to
Although
learn.
her business, of course, was in the beer brewing, perhaps
Right.
they'll have fine craft beers at every arbitration meeting. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody is going to throw the replay flag on that.
No.
So a lot of meetings happening on Capitol Hill right now with nominees for various positions. Susan Collins meeting with Elon Musk, who is prepared to, although it's, I guess, a government adjacent
They
office,
call
right?
it a
with
department.
Doge.
Yeah, well, that's all semantics. But it is interesting that Collins did meet with Musk and presumably Vivek Ramaswamy, too. I don't know if he was there. But came out and said, no, it was an excellent meeting. Phil, are you going to throw the replay flag on her optimism here or not?
I'm not, and it was behind closed doors, and I'm fairly confident that there was a mutual exchange of, yeah, you go do your work and come up with all these great ideas to reduce government spending, but remember, they've got to come through my appropriations committee for the most part.
There it goes.
I'm throwing the replay flag on this. Look, she should have stood up and said, yeah, I met with him. I made very clear to him that whatever cuts they're going to do, they are not going to affect Maine people. That's her job, is to protect both Maine and the country. But they're talking about getting rid of the Department of Education, undermining the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act. She needs to be very firm and let us know she's going to be firm.
I think publicly she's just keeping her powder dry, which is typical to say, look, I'm not going to reveal any details yet till it's time.
Sure, right. And we haven't had any hearings yet. It's still December, so that could change. We will watch that as well. Looking ahead now, Donald Trump floating the possibility, not the first time he's done this, about jailing members of Congress.
Yeah, he had his first network TV interview since the election this past weekend, and he's quite clear about saying the people who investigated him, Ethan, are some of them probably should be in jail, mentioning some names as well, specifically.
Yeah, I throw the replay flag on this one as well. This is really just a terrible precedent. I mean, he was trying to pretend like play both games. Oh, yeah, they should go to jail, but I'm not going to direct anybody to do it. When you say they should go to jail, but I'm not going to direct people, that means you are directing people. Those folks work for him. They now know what he wants. He is the culprit in this situation. He is the one that led an insurrection against our country. Almost 300 members of Congress voted to convict him or impeach him, and that meant that he could never run for office again. That's how bad it is that he did. Bipartisan. He's just trying to change the conversation, try to put blame on those who are trying to blame him.
Well, we could debate this conversation. The fact remains that he was impeached for delaying funding to Ukraine over concern of whether President Biden was involved in money laundering, my words. This is what happens in Washington. And I think
That's not the case that's being discussed here.
Well,
He's talking about January 6th.
I understand. The point I'm trying to make is that he is indicating there's facts that were not presented to that case. There are facts that were destroyed in the case. And what he's trying to say is, look, I'm going to appoint Attorney General. If she chooses to go look at this information and find something, follow the law. If not, I'm focused on lowering energy prices, lowering prices, getting our country's borders under control.
All right, much more to come on the podcast. We're also discussing who might run for Maine governor in 2 years. A lot of interesting names.
Pretty long
floated
list.
there. It is a very long list. We got all of it here. New episodes of In the Arena drop every Thursday. Watch on our website, WMTW.com, or listen wherever you get your podcasts. A new report released last week details ideas from Maine teachers to address challenges in the education field and try to boost the state's workforce. Educate Maine held listening sessions with teachers in all 16 counties over a period of several months. The group's program director, Dolly Sullivan, joins us in studio to discuss their findings. All right, we're joined in studio now by Dolly Sullivan. She's the program director for Educate Maine. It's so great to see you. This is a dense report, 50 plus pages. Doesn't seem like for teachers, though, if they're perusing this, no surprises. These talking points, they've been talking about this for years.
No surprises at all.
What really comes through is passion. You know, Maine teachers love what they do, but this is a career not without challenges.
You're absolutely right. You know, we talk to teachers all around the state, 250 teachers, 16 counties, as you said, 50 pages of research. And one of the things, it was universal, that teachers love what they're doing. There are challenges, and you know, it is going to be so important for us to work together to help them overcome these challenges.
So a major goal here is to get more people in the door, to boost the workforce. Some of what's highlighted in this report is really just the cost debit analysis for these teachers or prospective teachers, whether they can afford to jumpstart this career. How do we try to make progress in addressing what's laid out here?
So as we're moving forward and we are sharing this information with legislators and other stakeholders, we know that there have to be policy changes and process changes. And we have been talking to the State Board of Education, and you know, as the 132nd Maine legislature comes together, you know, we're hoping to share this with them as well.
And this surprised me in reading through it, that there are teachers considering leaving the profession altogether. And among some of the respondents that participated in your listening sessions, they indicated a feeling of having a lack of support, behavioral challenges among students, and that increasing in recent years, workload, low pay, bureaucracy.
And so we do have to act with a sense of urgency, because it is, this is impacting our students. And you know, there are still some districts who have positions unfilled around the state. That impacts our students, and so we have to really focus on that, and to open up. You know, one of the things that we heard from teachers is more viable pathways into education. They don't want to lower the bar, but you know, let's talk about apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeships.
But 7 recommendations here, and I want to walk us through it, and then we can talk about it. Streamlining the process here, addressing some of the certification barriers, cultivate, looking at promoting new pathways into the profession, connecting educators with each other to address problems, investing, adding capacity in schools. Some of them, as we know in some communities, are bursting at the seams. Adding expertise and coordination. So a lot of things that can be done here. So who needs to take in this information and then act on it?
So we all do. I mean, it is our collective responsibility. You know, it's been really helpful for us to be able to go and talk to teachers and get this information, but we also know that we have to share it, and it can't sit on the shelf. We have to move on it.
Does the political will in Augusta exist, you think, to boost teacher pay?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You know, I am very hopeful. I am very hopeful.
There is resistance even at the local level sometimes, where you look at a municipal budget and education is often 50%, if not more. We've seen multiple districts go back to the drawing board 2-3 times to get their school budget through. Do you think that it could be an uphill battle to try to get the increased investment you'd like to see?
I think that, you know, if we share this information and approach it collectively, and I think that I just think it makes sense, and I think that we can garner that support. I mean, the other thing that's, you know, it's not just salary, because it's different around the state. I mean, it's not universal, but it's like childcare and housing. You know, those are types of things that we have to address as well. That's, you know, it's so important. If you're going to hire someone, you have to make sure that they're able to afford to live in your community.
Bottom line, I think we all appreciate our educators here in Maine, regardless of anything else. All right, Dolly Sullivan, we so appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
10 shopping days to go before Christmas. You might be stumped on those last-minute gifts. When Total Maine returns, Jessica Gagne is explaining how you can put a piece of Maine under the tree. Stay with us. We're coming right back after this. Hey there, and welcome back to Total Maine here on this Sunday. I'm Terry Stackhouse. We do appreciate you joining us. Just a few shopping days left to go before the holidays. You might be stumped what to get friends and family members this year. For those of you who have somebody really difficult to shop for, Jessica Gagne suggests, why not send a box of Maine?
Cardboard and tape surround a selection of items that are very vacation land.
Like little elves in a workshop over here, just packing all these gifts for Christmas to get out in time.
Box of Maine started 8 years ago in a basement, and now it's bursting, with 12 employees working hard at a warehouse in Brewer to sort and ship locally made products across the country and the world. During the year, they move 50 to 75 boxes daily, but during the holidays, things go into hyperdrive.
The minute Black Friday hits, it's 400, 500, 600 packages every single day.
Customers are looking to get their hands on a sampling of items that scream Maine, like whoopie pies from Skowhegan, maple syrup from Newfield, and blueberry jam from just outside of Bar Harbor. The company's president says choosing what goes inside a box of Maine comes down to experience and community feedback.
We listen to our customers. Sometimes we're just actively looking for different types of products that we think would be a good fit, whether it's beef jerky or raised mustard or someone that makes candles and soap. So there's so many different options. There's so many different ways that we include Maine products in the box of Maine.
Local items are packed next to throwbacks like Humpty Dumpty chips and Moxie, operations that have moved beyond the state but are still synonymous with Maine culture and bring back cherished memories.
They open the box and like, oh my word, check out this Moxie soda. I remember when my dad, gave me the glass bottle of it when I was a kid.
Those fond memories and feelings of comfort are especially important for those who can't come home during the holidays. Box of Maine tries to help by finding Mainers on military missions across the world and shipping them a care package. The first soldier care packages were mailed out 4 years ago, and sponsorships have helped the company hit a new milestone.
I set a goal for 400 this year, and I think we're going to far exceed that because of companies like Bangor Savings Bank and Chick-fil-A and Smoke and Steel, and really just the individuals. They call us up, they say, hey, we want to donate to it. People are stopping by our gift shop in Brewer, Maine, and they're just handing us money. They say, we love what you do. We want to help get more of these soldier care packages out.
Sending support overseas and lifting up other Maine entrepreneurs in the process.
Really, I want to continue to work with the community, partner with other great small Maine businesses, and we just all work together supporting each other.
Box of Maine ships all over the United States and internationally, with recent orders going to Japan and Austria, even to the North Pole. Santa getting in on some Maine flavor. You can see all the items that are available to ship by visiting boxofmaine.com. For Maine's Total Coverage, I'm Jessica Gagne.
Even Santa needs a Christmas gift, right? As of today, just 10 more shopping days until Christmas. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Total Maine. We so appreciate you taking time out of your weekend to visit with us. I'm Terry Stackhouse. We're going to leave you with our Sky 8 drone today, giving us some wintry scenes over the Androscoggin County town of Lisbon. Snow covered there. And a lot of that's melted, but I'm sure that we're going to get a fresh blanket of the white stuff before you know it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We will see you right back here next weekend for another edition of Total Maine.